Most networking advice for engineers feels wrong. Cold emails, coffee chats, just reaching out. If you've ever read that advice and quietly thought, no thanks, this video is for you, because the problem isn't that engineers are bad at networking. The problem is that most networking advice is built for extroverts, salespeople. It assumes you should ask first and prove yourself later. But engineers don't work like that, do we? We're trained to think first, to test ideas, and show our working. So let's talk about a different approach. Most traditional networking looks like this. You identify someone important. You send a polite message. You ask for their time and hope they'll say yes. From their side, that message arrives at the worst possible time, with no context and no signal. They don't know how you think, and they don't know if you understand their problems. All they know is you want something from them. And even if you write a very nice message, it's still a request-first interaction. And that's why it feels uncomfortable. The flaw isn't in you, it's in the structure. So here's an alternative. Instead of contacting someone directly, you write or speak about the work they already care about, publicly, thoughtfully, calmly. You're not pitching yourself, you're engaging with ideas. Think of it less as a networking and more as thinking out loud in the same room. You're not knocking on the door. You're already inside talking about the problem. This works because of how hiring managers actually think. They're not looking for enthusiasm. They're looking for signal. Can this person understand a messy problem? Can they reason about trade-offs? Can they explain something clearly without overcomplicating it? A public post that engages with a real issue answers those questions before they ask them. No meeting required. No awkward introduction. Just evidence. This is especially effective for engineers because writing is slow. It forces clarity. You can't hide behind confidence or buzzwords. Your thinking is right there on the page. And that's exactly what good engineers respect. Not volume, not hype, not bullshit, but careful thought, expressed clearly. Now, this isn't about building a personal brand. It's not about posting every day, God forbid. It's definitely not about flattering people with influence. Mostly doesn't work, especially with engineers. It's about contributing something useful to a conversation that already exists. If the person you admire never sees it, the post should still stand on its own. That's the difference between contribution and performance. So how do you actually do this without making it weird? This idea, though, only works if you do it well. Done badly, it's obvious. Done badly, it feels forced. Let's start with what you should do. First, do start with a real problem, something you're willing to spend time thinking about. You don't have to care about it yet, but you do have to care to understand it properly. Sometimes interest only comes after thinking, after writing. Writing is often how you find out where a problem is interesting at all. I find that quite often. If you're not prepared to do the work, don't write about it. Don't write about the person. This is crucial. You're not profiling them. You're not praising them. You are not summarizing their career. The moment your post becomes about them, it turns into flattery, and flattery kills credibility. Instead, engage with one specific idea they've shared. One post, one argument, one claim. Treat it like a technical discussion, not a tribute. Third, do engage precisely. Reference the idea accurately. Quote it if needed. On LinkedIn, you can actually mention someone directly in the post. You can write something like, I was reading a post by @Bob on APIs, and this point got me thinking. If you do that, they'll usually get a notification, and that's important because you're not interrupting them. You're referencing them in public, professional context. And then from my point of view, if I'd written something and somebody said something about it, not in a notice me kind of way, but in a engaging way, I would want to read it. So this works. That's very different from a cold message. It's closer to citing someone in a document than knocking on their door. But the good thing is they'll get a notification on LinkedIn. And the other but, and this really matters, the mention must earn its place. It should be there because the idea generally influences your thinking, not because you want attention, which you do. If the post wouldn't make sense without the mention, you're probably doing it right. If the mention is the point of the post though, you're probably not. Once you've mentioned, add your own thoughts. Extend what they said, challenge what they said, but not in a bad, aggressive way. Apply it in a different context. The goal is not agreement. The goal is contribution, one idea, one angle, one clear addition. So now let's have some important don'ts. Don't be vague. Phrases like great insights, so true, or this really resonated with me. Oh, I hate that. Add absolutely nothing. They signal low effort and give the other person nothing to respond to. Engineers value specificity. So be specific or say nothing. Don't force the interaction. This is where most people would ruin it. Don't publish the post and immediately send a message. Oi, I've written about you. Don't ask for time and don't mention jobs. Let the content exist. If a conversation starts, it should start naturally. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. The work still stands. So let's go back to what you should do. Do make the post useful on its own. A simple test. Would this still be worth reading if the person never sees it? If the answer is no, then rewrite it or don't write it at all. Add examples, add constraints, explain trade-offs. Make it something you'd want to read from a peer. Finally, do think long-term. This is not a hack. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme or get-a-job-quick scheme. It's not guaranteed and it doesn't scale quickly. But it does compound. And over time, people begin to take notice of how you think. And that matters because hiring decisions are really decisions about risk. The safer you feel to them, the easier it is to say yes. So yes, the end goal is a job offer, but you don't get there by asking for one. You get there by reducing uncertainty long before a role even exists. By the time a conversation starts, you're not a stranger. You're already someone who's thinking they trust. And that's what turns a post into a conversation, into an opportunity. If you hate networking but like thinking clearly, this is one of the cleanest approaches I know.